If you saw my previous video, you know that I didn't like the Winx reboot, so we're gonna be rewriting it with my sister. In this particular occasion, university didn't allow her to come to the recording, but we've been working on this together. And I'm gonna give you like a general idea of what we've been thinking, while in the background you're gonna see some of the first approaches of redesigning their transformations. We are kind of a debate about keeping Bloom. Like, I know she's the protagonist, but honestly, she's just like that kind of protagonist that is the protagonist just because. And maybe we'll add her to the story, but we haven't really decided that yet. But in the meantime, I'm gonna tell you one of the few things that we've decided. This story is gonna be focused on Stella and Flora, mainly Stella. So we've been thinking, what if Stella's father is the king of the sun, and Stella's mother is the queen of the moon and stars? This makes Stella the one and only fairy with the powers of all of those, of the sun, the moon, and the stars. Their union was mainly a political statement, something that was mainly meant to join their kingdoms. Both the sun and the stars and moon will be better together instead of fighting. And that's where Stella comes in. A little something that we wanted to add is I actually like the idea of having a brother in the story, but with I genuinely tried to keep Damien as he was, but it didn't make much sense for us. And especially because if we're supposed to have like this dragon flame thingy that's super important, so and then divided in half, it's like, yeah, it didn't really make much sense. So we decided to keep the idea of a sibling, but change it a little bit. I bet if you are old fans of Winx Club, you remember Naboo, Lila's or Aisha's love interest. What if Naboo was Stella's brother? What if he was the older brother that Stella's father, the king of Solaria, had before marrying the queen? He was the child of true love, but a union that could not be together because his mother was not royalty. They grew up together and they are thick as thieves. They are very chaotic and determined to protect one another. And one last character that it's important in this explanation of the story is Flora. Do you remember The Princess and the Frog? We've been thinking that Stella could be Charlotte and Flora could be Tiana. That kind of relationship, it's so much fun. I really like how they interact in the movie, and I love those dynamics where one is like awfully rich and doesn't get like life, and the other one is more down to earth and it's like, yeah, tone it down. And I think it actually fits also their original personalities. So with this in mind, the story will start with Stella being attacked because she is the only one, the only living being with the magic of the sun, the moon, and the stars. All the three of them in one being, in one magical being. They don't really know why they are being attacked, they just know that they have to protect Stella. In an effort to keep her safe, they start hiding her with Flora and her family, a place no one will expect a princess to be. But eventually, they discover that it's not as safe as they expected, and therefore they need a new strategy. Flora's mother suggests Althea. They don't know why, but she seems very convinced that this school should be able to keep Stella safe. Plus, it's the place Flora learns, and they could accept Naboo as a magic student. And he could act as his guard. He's been doing it his whole life and he actually likes it, on top of knowing that nobody can really keep his sister out of trouble. Not even himself, but at least he can try. And he is the closest anyone will ever get to keep her out of trouble. With that in mind, the plan is made. Stella will go not as Stella, the princess of Solaria, but as a common girl that wants to learn magic. Faraganda, the director of Althea, will know the secret because Flora's mother will tell her, so she can properly protect the three of them. And Naboo will go as an undercover cousin that it's learning magic, but in reality he is pretty much the guard. He'll be taking classes in both the specialist school and Althea. This is gonna be like the setting we're thinking for the three of them. And in the school they're gonna learn more. They're gonna meet Aisha, they're gonna meet Musa and Tegna, and each of them are gonna come in different moments during the story. Musa and Tegna, they know each other from before, but mainly like the kind of person that you work with for a project and you are like, oh yeah, I know that person. That's the relationship they have. But something everyone knows is that if you need someone to mix magic and technology, Tegna is your girl. She is gonna get it. There is also something else happening in this magical world. Someone is trying to do something in Andros, Princess Aisha home dimension. Her family doesn't want her to intervene in anything they're doing, but she is not the kind of person that likes to stay crossed arm and do nothing. Naboo, being one of the best royal guards in Solaria and one of the best specialists, ends up on a mission trying to find what's going on in Andros, specifically in the portal to the Omega dimension that seems to be attacked, but they haven't been able to identify why. How does this relate with Stella's attack? Wouldn't you love to know? We haven't really decided what format we're gonna do it. We're thinking some sort of either a comic/graphic novel, although those take a lot of time and a lot of effort, so we're not sure if we're gonna be able to do it, or some sort of mix where we're gonna write down a lot of the story and then have illustrations go with it, maybe some comic pages here and there, but mainly on written format. We haven't really decided. Do you have any preference? Because I would love to know. There is more story, there are more details that I can't wait to share with you guys. And nothing here is written in stone, it's just like general ideas that we've been having. We haven't quite gotten into the tiny little details, but I think that if you're gonna rewrite a story, it's important to make it close enough to the original so you like it's identifiable, but far enough that it's its own stuff. And let's say what we want to do is that if we just change the names and the descriptions of the characters, it will be able to be an original story. I think that the current reboot is not really doing a good work with that, because if you don't have a lot of base knowledge about Winx Club and you don't care for the characters beforehand, you don't really get a reason to care for them. So that's not the idea. The idea is to make something cool with this story, and honestly, I can't wait to show you guys what we have in mind because it's gonna be very interesting. Let me know down in the comments what do you think of these little changes, and I'll see you in the next one, hopefully with my sister, where we'll tell you a little bit more about the story we're thinking about making for this new version of Winx Club.